Hey, it's me again. That was quite down, wasn't it? Hello, it's me again. Kids are at home, so probably listening. And that's probably reflected in my voice. Anyway, no cheer for that, which is a bit harsh. Let's do something about that. So enough of that. Hey, I want to talk about communicating your message and tying it in with your product. So thinking about marketing, I keep harping on about this because this is the theme at the moment I'm trying to get across, not only in my business but to trainers who are programming. The problem I see is that the easiest thing to talk about is transaction or teaching, and the hardest thing to talk about is emotion. And the most important thing that your client takes away is emotional, and the least important thing is transactional or teaching. So I look across different brands and I look at my competitors and I look at your guys' competitors and I see this is how they started, this is how much weight they lost, this is the exercise I do with the client, this is how I assess the client, this is where their movement doesn't work, this is where their movement does work. And so even when you get some emotion in there, it's always like an afterthought. Like, they went from 10 stone to 9 stone and feel fantastic. And it's not describing what you need to describe. There's certainly no story to it, and the emotional connection's not there. And this is the problem, that when you look at what's coming out in science, and you look at the techniques that people who are a little more cutting edge are starting to follow because the evidence is weighted towards these techniques, you start to see everything's about perception, and the body's protective system is emotional. The body's protective system is built around experience, and so the body's protective system is that first layer of defense that might be causing the problem or the issue that you've got to overcome. And you can look across any part of what you do as a trainer. So as a trainer, if you're working on posture or movement or pain or performance or consistent performance or skill or nutrition or lifestyle, you look at the barriers you're coming up against and look at how much that's got to do with the thought process that the client holds and the thought process that they hold during the thing they're doing with you. Think about why someone might say they buy a session with you. A lot of people say it was a gut feeling. I got the right feeling when I spoke to you, when I read your website, when I watched your videos. I got the right feeling. And that feeling it's not a feeling of touch. They didn't, maybe they did. Maybe they came and touched you, went, oh, you're the right amount of squidgy to firm ratio, and therefore you make the right squidgy to firm ratio personal trainer. Or maybe, and more likely, it's not the physical touch, but it's the emotional touch. It's how you stimulated them emotionally. Oh, they might say, oh, it gave him he felt trustworthy. She felt like she could soften the science and help me get better. That it could be anything sort of related to what's the message coming across. Now, I think the problem with personal training and personal trainers trying to penetrate into the industry is that most personal trainers give the impression of transaction and give the impression of teaching. So we're going to do this, you're going to get better at that, I'm going to show you this. Which also ties in quite nicely to environments and feelings that are related to no choice. So if your client responds to that, think what someone might normally consider military training. Maybe they respond to that. So they go, oh, this is good. I want a no choice, no frills, environment. I just want to work hard and know what to do. And that might be appealing. So that might be the right choice. But look across the industry and your competitors and think, actually, do they even know that's what they're trying to say? Because if I know that's the rule, can I make that more obvious in my marketing? So if someone says, you're going to go from this to that on my 12-week transformational program, and yours says, you're going to turn up and you're going to shut up, and I'm going to take you through 12 weeks of grueling workout where you don't get no choice. And at the end of it, you are fitter and you will be prouder. Maybe that, going that extreme, just wipes out all that competition if that's what you like. And okay, you could tidy up that message, but you get the essence is that if I know that's what I'm pushing for, that's what I'm after. Then you see sort of the other side of the personal trainers there. Oh, you need to be really, really nice to yourself and we'll be nice to you and everything's sunny and bright and lovely and huggy. And you see that. But again, it's not the experience. It might be the desired feeling, but it's not the experience. And maybe you could be saying, this is transformation training. You're going to arrive with whatever level of confidence you have, and we're going to build up a portfolio of exercises that you can do. We're going to show you how miraculous your body can be. You're going to practice things and fail things and get things right. And this is going to be like when we started out as toddlers learning how to use playgrounds. You're going to come to my playground and we're going to have a load of fun finding out all the stuff you can do. Might be a better description, mentioning that there's going to be bumps and sore knees and on the route, but you're going to get there, is probably a better thing to set your client up for than the perception almost of we're going to wrap you up in cotton wool, not going to hurt you, not going to affect you in any other way than big hugs and you're all right really, you don't need to change, you're fine. So getting this message across means binning the transaction and binning the teaching and getting the message to the client of the experience. An example might be a lot of people will advertise on we're gonna change the way you, or we're gonna help you turn the corner, which is kind of cool because what you've got there is you've got a company stating that the point you meet them is the point that things change. And that's kind of a cool message, right? It's different. It's a transformational message again. It's different. But what are you really saying? Because what I'd want to know is what's going to happen when I arrive. And what I'd like is someone who's going to soften the blow of change, soften the blow of turning the corner. So it's like, right, you're going to turn up, you know you need to change, and this is the time you've decided. Today's the day this happens. And I'm here to help you make this change where you might be going into the unknown, but I'm going to make it predictable and easier, and we're going to get through this together. And if you go back to my story podcast, that's probably the born again. You're going to end up with the born again story, or it's overcoming the monster. In both cases, you need to be like either the catalyst for change. I'm going to help you change because I'm going to be able to help you by providing the knowledge you need, by providing the support you need, by plotting the whole route. So that should seem appealing straight away, but not just that. I'm going to be there to ensure that there's safety around this change. And that sort of helps with the feeling, I think. Now on the born again, it might be that you're like the big cheerleader that's going to push them through. So, hey, you're going to come to me and you know you're ready to change. You know the things you do aren't right for you. And that's good because we've all been there and I can relate to that. And me and you and my other clients, we're going to help you through this and we're going to make a difference. And maybe at the end of this, you're going to train up to do what I do, and you get that chance to show people training too. Maybe that's the story, maybe that's the communication style. What I'm trying to say is, if you go back to your marketing, and I'm certainly doing this at the moment, and you read something transactional. So for just £400, you get our 10-week transformation program. We'll do 200 exercises and you'll lose weight and you'll gain muscle. All that's transactional. If it says, I'll teach you how to do a kettlebell swing and 4 Olympic lifts, and I'll teach you the best form for all the exercises, that's teaching. And that won't relate as well as something more experiential. And that's really, I know this is a short one, it's 11 minutes, not 15, but I just want to get that point across, because I think a lot of us are losing clients and underrepresenting what we do with or for our clients, because our focus is on the stuff. Because the stuff is the bit that perhaps we're either most confident or least confident in, but certainly it becomes the most important thing in our world. Oh, can I see movement well enough? Can I predict exercise well enough? Can I get people to improve their technique? Can I remove pain? Stupid. That's not how it works. But can I remove injury? Can I prevent injuries from happening? Do I do the best warm-up? All that kind of stuff is wrapped up in a personal trainer's head. But if you're talking about a transactional or a teaching component to what you do, then you're also isolating your client away from the thing that they want. Now, every other trainer's doing it, and you could say, well, they're all successful, but are we successful? Are we really over 10% of the population in health clubs? Are we really over 5% of the population of health clubs into personal training? Are we really doing a great job? Or are we saying, oh, I'm losing out to Instagrammers, I'm losing out to YouTubers? And if you are, have a look at what they do. And it's about the scene, it's about the relationship, it's about the smile, it's about the message, it's about how it feels to be part of a group that follow that Instagrammer. It's about how it feels to have that person train you because you really want to be trained by that person you admire. It's about feeling. And the reason that we're losing to Instagrammers, and I don't think we are, I think we're all part of the same industry, but the reason some people are frustrated and are losing to Instagrammers is because they're talking technique, and they're talking teaching, and they're talking transaction, and people buy feeling and experience. And so I hope that's helpful to some people out there. I'm going to stop on 13 minutes because it's unlucky, and that's the kind of rebel I am. Bye.